Oh, 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 no, no, let's go. What is up, you Yeah, so we're here, and it's lovely day. Hope you're all having a lovely day at home. Thank you for joining us today.
You ever go to a friend's house and you go pull up and they're like, they didn't tell you there was a gate? Get there and you're being gate kept from the neighborhood? Today we're talking about gatekeeping opinion. How do you feel about gatekeeping? Do you think it's a net positive? Do you think it's a negative? Today we're going to find out what the internet's opinion is on the matter.
This is interesting because I've seen both.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen both. Where people say, no, we need more because this is getting corrupted by a bunch of noobs and idiots. And then people are like, no, just let them enjoy it.
Just let people like stuff.
So I've seen both.
Yeah, I'm curious what the debate is on how everyone who watches us feels about gatekeeping. Because I feel like, it's a silly conversation on paper, but then when you break it down, I'm like, I could see why people could feel this way, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's break it down.
All right, let's see. There's no good metal, either generally or a specific subgenre, after insert year or scene.
So this is a criticism of gatekeeping, of like, I don't like when people say that. 'Cause, I mean, that's fair. That's a bad gatekeep in my opinion, because it's just saying I grew up with this.
Yes.
And that's why it's better. Like that's all that means, is that somebody's emotionally invested in something that they grew up with. They're more attached to it.
Well, it's saying there's no good.
Yeah, it's just wrong.
After is wrong.
It's just wrong.
You could say that, this era
is my favorite.
We said that. I've said that many times. I think it was that one video. I was like, 2004 to like 2012, metalcore was peak, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna ever say that. There's no more good metalcore. Like that's weird.
You weren't born during the time period I was, pussy.
That new metal, metalcore, and deathcore aren't real metal. Also, the shunning if you admit you like other non-metal music.
The irony of doing the pick an album from the 4 years thing is realizing how many of these bands are just products of metal. They're not.
Absolutely.
It's just taking little flavors of metal and making them something. Just because it's like people are so torn on the phrase core that no, that's not metal. Yeah, when I'm talking to a normal person, I'm not going to go, it's like symphonic blackened deathcore. Like they're going to be like, what are you saying to me?
Yeah,
like it's like a metal band. I'm going to say it's metal.
Well, maybe nowadays they might know more.
They might actually get it.
People just get so caught up on the terminology. It's like, just chill. We say these words because they're universally understood.
Is the shunning, do people get shunned out of metal for not liking non-metal? I haven't personally encountered
back in the day.
I feel like high school or something.
Yeah, I feel like nowadays, no. I feel like nowadays we're so beyond that, where it's like, if you're the one doing that, you're weird.
Yeah, or if like the only shunning I could see, if you say, I listen to like really heavy stuff, and people are like, that's kind of strange. But if you were already into metal and you're like, I like some pop songs, I doubt anyone would be like,
yeah. I feel the other way around. Like, if you're hanging out with a bunch of frat boys or a bunch of frat girls and you're like, I love Dying Fetus, they would go like, whoa, what the hell?
You love killing kids?
Yeah, but if you were with a bunch of metalheads and you were like, I love Panic at the Disco, they'd be like, it's cool. Yeah. Like, I don't think that they would give a fuck. Are we putting on Spice
Girls right now?
Yeah, like, they'd be into it. They'd be like, it's sick, dude,
At least in my experience, that's how it's been.
Yeah, I mean, you're just hanging out with the wrong people, I guess. I hear nothing is heavier than Pantera, way too much. There's so many that are, though. When people say you're wrong about something when it's just an opinion.
Yeah, I felt like those kind of went hand in hand of like,
for sure,
having the staunch opinion of nothing
is heavier than Pantera. Well, that's a really interesting question, because now what we have to do is we have to really dissect what the word heavy means.
We have to quantify it.
Is heavy fast? Is heavy slow? Is heavy a lot of bass? Is heavy in the production? Is heavy in the songwriting? Is heavy in the tuning? What is heavy? But seriously, you got to figure that out. What is heavy? Because I've heard a ton of people talk about this. I've heard musicians talk about this. What is heavy?
Yeah, there's so many different types of heavy. I feel like that's why it's confusing about the word.
Heavy is a feeling.
Anything that makes you go...
Yeah, exactly. It could be the tuning that makes it heavy, but not always, because I've heard some fucking standard tuned guitars be real fucking heavy. It could be the drums, it could be the production, it could be the vocals, the lyric, it could be anything.
Yeah, it could be, exactly.
So yes, Pantera has moments of being very heavy. Right. If I listen to something and I go, oh man, that's making me feel heavy.
You're like, this is heavy
I'm
shit.
feeling this and I think it's heavy. You can't tell me that I'm wrong.
Like, yeah, but have you heard this shit?
Yeah, but you don't even know your own emotions, bro. Yeah, and then you listen to Pantera and you're like, this isn't that heavy because it's not making me feel the same feeling I'm getting from this other thing.
Yeah.
Heavy is subjective.
Totally.
So saying nothing is heavier than Pantera is a very narrow-minded way to look at it.
You're wrong.
I don't know. I think a lot of people, they like...
Like
that is their identity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they find one thing that they really like a band. You know, they love the band Death.
Yeah.
And so
if you don't know as much of them about it,
exactly,
you don't like it as much.
And they are the pinnacle of metal, or like, you know, Pantera. So their favorite band is Pantera, and therefore to them, it's like, that is metal. No other thing comes close to it. How dare you even suggest something else is as sick as the thing that you love the most.
If there's anything to take away is if you ever meet a gatekeeper in real life, just hit him with the, like, you're fucking weird, dude.
Yeah, literally, like, what would they say? Well, because I think it's gay.
In Leviticus 5:16, subgenres of metal are gay. Going to hell and burn if you do chugs. I didn't write it. It's just like I have to follow the rule book.
I feel like this is such an old head
take,
boomer, maybe millennial thing. I really have hope for Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and the coming generations to just not give a fuck
for
about
real,
this
because there's
stuff.
nothing more miserable than being 60 and being like, you don't know real mirror. Like, that's the worst.
You weren't
or like,
there.
you don't want to become the guy that actually likes rap but is too like caught up in his shit that has to be like, I'm 67 years old and don't like rap, but I like this.
I feel like to them it's just like, I remember reading in the newspaper when they burnt that church down, and you'll never understand the effect that had on me as a child.
Personally.
And you will never go through something the way that I did. There's no way you could. And it's like, okay, you need to
go Cool Gramps. Down,
yeah, exactly. Listen to this gent riff.
Yeah. Get over it, old man.
Computers are taking over.
Can't understand the lyrics.
Gatekeepers are ruining metal. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up.
Jormungandr is not pleased.
Jormungandr. You know what we should do? We should honestly find somebody. It could just be like a watcher of the channel that is staunch on their belief that gatekeeping is good and has 100 reasons to back it up, and then just have a conversation with them and just like see like, okay, so why do you think it's important that we should keep, and like, who do you, I guess that would be my question. Who do you decide to gatekeep and why? What is the criteria for gatekeeping? Like, do we not allow this person to listen to this because of this reason? What is your reasoning?
I wonder if it's like the anime thing where people are bitter that anime is like popular and accepted now, and they're like, I was bullied for 20 years for this.
Yeah.
And you guys don't get to just like it for free.
I get that,
like,
but
maybe
that's just bitterness.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a good reason.
That's bitterness. That's not a good reason.
I can see that being why people are so passionate about it, though. Just like, you didn't suffer the way I did.
That's a very personal situation that you are now putting on to someone else that you shouldn't be.
That has nothing to do with that.
Because, like, yeah, I'm sorry you got bullied for liking metal for 20 years and now it's generally accepted, but you should be happy about that. Because now the thing
now
you
the future
love,
kids don't have to suffer that way.
Yeah, the thing that you love, you can share it with other people instead of being a lonely old miser. When they hit me with the, you can't call yourself a true metalhead if you don't have the first number albums by metal band with legendary status in your collection. I don't make enough money to buy physical releases just for my collection to be a performance of true metalheadness. This is saying, like, if you weren't there from the beginning, you can't call yourself a true metalhead. Or it's like
like if you don't have a vinyl collection of like the OG stuff to pay respects.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there from the beginning of, yeah, totally. It's not my fault I didn't learn about something until I did.
Yeah, I wasn't born in the same frame.
You know what I mean?
Bad.
Like, my bad that this thing did not come to my radar until I was 15 or 20. Like, how is that my fault? But now that it is in my radar, I love it. and I should be able to enjoy it just as much as anybody else.
You're telling me you don't own John Pork's Big Famine? It's the best metal record of all time.
The yearly pick a darling underground band with an upcoming album to be insanely hyped for, then shit on them relentlessly when it comes out and lots of people listen shtick. It's so dumb. So I was actually thinking about this with Sleep Token, where I was like, this is a very real thing, and it's a very real thing in just today's culture, today's society, that we see a lot, is that people generally don't care about stuff until it gets shoved down their throat, and then they say, can you please stop? Like, if you were to go back 5 or 6 years and you were to ask someone, hey, do you like Sleep Token? Most people would either say, oh yeah, they're cool, they got a couple cool songs, or they wouldn't know who they are.
Like, oh yeah, Jaws fucks.
Oh yeah, like, you're sick or whatever. And then they get huge, and all the TikTok girls are dancing to their songs, or the summoning, they blow up, they get shoved down everyone's throats for 2 or 3 years straight, and now because of that only, people are like, I'm so fucking sick of listening to hear about Sleep Token, it's so annoying. It's like anything else, dude. It's like anything else. If you are constantly being berated by something, if you're constantly having something shoved down your throat, you're going to get bitter, and you're going to say, I don't want to see this anymore. I don't want to deal with this anymore. And it becomes fatigue. Yeah. And we see that in every aspect of society, and it happens with music a lot.
Pop culture stuff in general, too, of that, like, if you miss out on seeing it when it happened, or you know, consuming it when it was blowing up and you weren't a part of it, and you just hear about how good it is, then you're already developing a, like, well, I'm sure it's not as good as everyone's saying. Like, I feel like it just instinctually gets built up in you to feel like, well, why does everybody love it? And then you go in with, like, looking for negativities because you're like, why does everybody love it? Because
you don't trust the hype.
Yeah, you don't trust the hype. You're like, well, why does everybody love this so much? I've never even heard it. Yeah. And now you're looking for all the negatives to why you don't want to be into it.
That's a great point,
I feel like that helps too with that.
Yeah. Ghost are actually a true heavy metal band in the traditional sense, and people who say otherwise fundamentally don't understand the history of heavy metal music.
I thought it was actually a great point.
This is a great point.
They were bringing up the, like, comparison that Black Sabbath is, like, the metal band, and I was like, that's actually I've never even thought about that. That would never come across as, like, you couldn't argue that Black Sabbath wasn't metal, even
heavy metal, right?
Or
so
heavy, that's the phrase, heavy metal,
which is funny because heavy metal is the least heavy genre,
right? Yeah,
in the metal world,
just the first genre to use, like, distortion.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, Ghost is heavy metal. That is literally what they are. They are Black Sabbath, basically.
Great point, honestly.
To say it is weird, like, right? People, again, getting tripped up with the semantics of the phrase. Oh, like, if you just call them metal, it's a problem. But if you call them heavy metal, it makes more sense because it's like, okay, like Black Sabbath, yeah, for sure. Classic metal, like, yeah, this guy's right. Metal shouldn't be for everyone, otherwise it wouldn't be counterculture. Tired of seeing twinkcore bros preaching that metal should be constantly accessible. Well, I guess it depends on the reason that you're listening to metal. I like, again, black metal, yes, it's counterculture. Death metal, yes, it's counterculture. It's rebellious. It's rebellion, of course. But who's to say that the stuff that is coming out nowadays isn't rebellious? And, like, obviously, if you look at a specific band and you say, well, this band is just incredibly corporate, they just do everything to make money, it's all polished radio metal, okay, fine, maybe that band is. It doesn't mean that modern metal is all that. There are still bands out there that are doing the rebellious thing.
I love that this guy's name is Acceptable Hope. It's like, no one should accept this, you're all lame and dumb. An ironic name.
Tired of seeing twinkcore. Twinkcore.
Oh, me? I'm Mr. Hopeful.
Also, with twinkcore,
Sleeping with Sirens, that kind of vibe.
Sleeping with Sirens. I mean, that shit's been happening since 2004.
Yeah. Right, it's been around.
It's been a thing.
I mean, even before that. I mean, what are we? We're just gonna ignore hair metal? like that wasn't a thing.
How is that not also twinkcore?
Yeah.
Don't put music in a box. Don't say it has to be counterculture or it has to be for culture. It's music. It's meant to be what it is for the sake of what it is.
It's what those group of people sat down and decided to make.
Exactly. It is art for the sake of art, not for everyone to say what it should be for.
And it's a dumb argument, too, because it's like, what, if Sleep Token didn't blow up, you'd like them?
I think that's the bottom line of it, though, is metal shouldn't be thought of in one way, or like, you should not be saying what metal should be.
Right.
You should allow music to be music for music's sake. Period.
Period on quoi.
If y'all are willing to listen to this, the surface level, highly commercial stuff, then you're not a metal fan. You're a genre tourist. I've never heard that term.
That's a new, I've never heard that either.
And this is okay. I don't mean it in a derogatory way. I myself am a tourist in some other genres, but the fact still stands. If you only listen to the most popular bands or the most accessible genres and willingly avoid deeper stuff, then you're not committed enough to be considered a metal fan. I don't call myself a hip-hop fan just because I like Kendrick Lamar and a few other singers. Why should the standard be different with metal? I see what he's saying, but also, what if I just don't have time? What if I spend 12 hours a day working, and on the only time I get to listen to music is on the way home, and I hear what the radio plays, and it's this metal song or that metal song. Hey, I really like it when it comes on. I don't really know who it is. I can't name 3 records. I haven't listened to a full record, but I just know when I hear this, I like it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's totally fine.
And they could ask, hey, what are you into? I listen to metal. Oh, well, like, who do you listen to? I don't know, like, whatever's on the radio. If you are purposefully just skimming the cream on the top and then going to places and like trying to fit in for another reason, that's not because...
Yeah, that's pretty lame.
That's pretty lame. If you're just trying to like almost clout chase or do something like that, that's super lame. But that's the only real way that I would say, like...
Yeah, that's a fair point. There's like one exception that if you had somebody who's like, oh, dude, metal's my whole thing, and then you're like, what's your favorite like OG metal guys? And they're like, I just don't know what they're talking about.
Totally.
Sure, but for me, this sounds more like that bitterness again of... Well, I did all this research about like what you should have to just.
But I know all of this.
Yeah.
Why does it?
And then the thing at the bottom of like, I don't call myself a hip hop fan just because I do this. Why should the standard be? What standard? You just said that's something you do.
Is literally the meme where it's the guy standing by the wall and it says they don't know that I know every single Anthrax record, every single Death record, and then like the hot guy is leaning up against the girl and he's like, I love Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh yeah,
that's what this is. But 100%.
Let's replace the cool guys or the Chad guys art with we all know that he knows that.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody knows I'm such a big metal. We all know.
There are reasons why people may not. They may be brand new to it. You know what I mean? They're just still learning, and if they like it enough, they'll dive deeper. Show them a record. Show them some new metal. Give them 5 CDs to borrow. Check these out. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Let me know what you think. Actually invest into that person. If you care enough about what they're listening to, then you should care enough to help them listen to good stuff. Be
the guiding hand that like, okay, well, if you want to be an elitist, elitely show them the albums you would like them to listen to.
Don't be bitter. Don't be bitter about it.
There's a way to still have this opinion and be helpful to society about it.
Exactly.